Assalamualaikum and hi to all my fellow friends, especially for our beloved Madam Zeti. I am Nur Ipa binti Anwar and this is my group members Nurdini and Nurul Ain and also Siti Rahana. We are from group 13 and we'll explain about learning and remembering part 2. For introduction of learning and remembering, I will explain to you. Definition of learning. Learning is the process of acquiring new understanding, knowledge, behaviors, skills, values, attitudes, and preference. The ability to learn is possessed by humans, animals, and some machines. There is also evidence for some kind of learning in certain plants. To learn, we need to characterize what sorts of students we are. In light of the kinds of the students, then we can admittance to learning interaction of our framework. Learning will be incorporated with a memory arrangement of person, which how might the memory run the course of encode, store, and recover. Definition of remember. Remembering or episodic memory is the conscious and vivid recollection of a prior event such that a person can mentally travel to the specific time and place of the original event and retrieve the details. Memory known as part of mind, which play an important part in human living situation. First is encoding, second is storage, and third is retrieval. Next, I will pass to Nordini to explain how learning and remembering work.
Thank you, Ipa. So the topic that I would like to discuss is how learning and memory works. This topic has four elements like how encoding works, how sensory storage works, how short-term memory works, and the last is how long-term memory works. The first is how encoding works. Stage 1. Encoding is the process of acquiring information. Your brain is constantly receive signal. The five senses provide information is hearing, sight, touch, taste, and smell. Environmental stimuli are then translated to your brain for a brief period of sensory storage. The second is how storage works. Storage is a placement of information in your memory. Sensory storage can make brain interpret signal, discuss an important and last a few seconds. Short-term memory can host information from sensory storage. It can store 5 to 9 chunks of information at a time and last less than 1 minute. The third is how long-term memory works. Long-term memory works is a permanent or storage of information. Long-term memory works is an nearly unlimited span and capacity. It can reach a language, visual, image, and physical. The last is how short-term memory works. Short-term memory work is transfer from short-term to long-term memory. It can known as a raw learning. Repetition of information is difficult to retrieve. Elaborative rehearsal. A can thinking process which is asking questions, making association, connecting new material, mm, recording. The last is rearranging, changing, and grouping information. It can become more meaningful, easier to recall. The stage 3 is a retrieval. Retrieval is accessing and using the information held in storage. Pull stored information from your memory. Was it tied to storage? The manner in which information is stored affects how well it can be retrieved. That's also I will pass to Aimunira for their present.
Next, levels of processing. Depth of processing, incoming info processed at different levels. Levels of processing have 3 levels: shallow, intermediate, deep. Shallow processing emphasizes the physical structure of the stimulus. Intermediate processing emphasizes what a word sounds like. Deep processing emphasizes the meaning of verbal input.
Next is storage, maintaining information in memory. In analogy, it means information storage in computers or information storage in human memory. Information processing theories like the Atkinson-Sheffield model, and there are 3 parts to memory. First, sensory memory, second, short-term memory, and third, long-term memory. Short-term memory, or STM, means the capacity to recall a small amount of information from a recent time period. It has limited capacity and limited duration. Type 1, or maintenance rehearsal, non-semantic rehearsal of information, repetition of information as in memorization. Consider shallow processing because of the information is lost if rehearsal stops. Type 2, or elaborative rehearsal, semantic processing of information using the meaning of the material to better remember it. Gets information into long-term memory, deep level processing. And next one is long-term memory, unlimited capacity. Long-term memory is the capacity to recall memories from a longer time ago. It can be permanent storage, flash bulb memories, to the recall of very specific images or details surrounding a vivid or rare or significant personal events, like details may or may not be accurate and can recall through hypnosis.
You know that meditation can improve your memory. Regular meditation increases blood flow to the brain, which leads to a stronger network of blood vessels in the cerebral cortex and reinforce memory capacity. One study that was published by a reputable recognition journal indicated that meditating for 20 minutes a day boosts memory and concentration. Explain to you about retrieval or getting information out of a memory. First, tip of the tongue phenomenon, failure in retrieval. Retrieval cues the first letter of the word. Second, recalling an event. Context cues, remember elementary school. And the third is reconstructing memory. I'll explain to you about forgetting when memory leaks. First, recall. Recall involves being able to access the information without being cued. For example, answering a question on a field in the blank test. Second, recollection involves reconstructing memory, often utilizing logical structures, partial memory, narratives, or clues. For example, for recollection is writing answer on an essay exam, often involves remembering bits of information and then reconstructing the remaining information based on these partial memories. The third is reconnection. Reconnection involves identifying information after experiencing it again. For example, taking a multiple choice quiz requires that you recognize the correct answer out of group. And the last one is relearning. Relearning involves relearning information that has been previously learned. This often makes it easier to remember and retrieve information in the future and can improve the strength of the memory. Next, I will pass to Nurdini to explain to you strategies for improving encoding, storage, and retrieval.
Thank you, Ipa. So the strategy for improving encoding, storage, and retrieval. The first is improving encoding. Improving encoding can exclude competing stimuli, can consciously exclude anything that does not relate. Second is use various sensory modes. You can use as many sensors as possible. The third is carefully and specifically define your purpose. Know the type of information you need. The last is use previewing. Anticipate both the content and structure of the incoming message. The second is improving storage. The first, we can use immediate review after reading a lecture, facilitates retrieval. Second, use numerous sensory channels. It can make storage more effective. Third is organize or record information to be stored. It can group information to be stored. The fourth is use elaboration like read, reread, reflect, ask question. The last is connect new learning with previous learning. Link new learning to already stored information. The third is improving retrieval. First, we can use visualization. We can create mental picture of what to learn. Second, we can develop retrieval clues, get a modern PowerPoint select word or phrase that summarize or categorize piece of information. That is stimulates the condition. We can practice retrieving information by simulating test condition. The last is we can learn beyond mastery. It can continue practice and review after you learn. A crazy fact about memory is first, our brains can store a countless amount of information. Second, we can start to forget childhood memories while we are in childhood. Third, walking through a doorway triggers the brain to forget. And the last is there's a word record for memory. That's all for me. So I will pass to the next presenter, Ain.
The conclusion is you must be able to prioritize information and focus on the most important concepts. There are many strategies you can use to enhance your ability to remember information, including mnemonics rehearsal and using visuals. Experiment with these strategies and identify what works best for you.
Ini mic.
That's all for my group. Thank you for watching and listening our group presentation. Thank you.